Well, good morning, folks. Welcome back to the farm. A little breezy here this morning, and a slight, well, I don't want to say change of plans, but I woke up this morning thinking I was going to continue on with the fencing project. I got the tractor hooked up to the post pounder and did all that. And the wife said, "Are you going to town to get wood today?" And I had to pause, let some, synaptic firing happen in the old brain. And then I remembered, I did promise to run to UFA today to pick up half a lift of 2x6 because we are building a grain bin floor for a cabin project. We're converting an old round 14-foot grain bin into a summer cabin. Won't be a winter cabin. It'll be insulated just to keep the heat out and everything, but I'm thinking it won't be sled camp. It won't be good for that. But so anyways, I got the flat deck trailer hooked up there, and the wife headed to Grand Prairie as well. She's taking one kid, going for back to school shopping. I'm going to take the other one, and we're going to go to UFA, get a whole pile of lumber, and then I might actually have to slip into Princess Auto too and see about getting some more float valves. So we use float valves for all kinds of stuff, for watering animals, mobile watering of animals. Very, very handy, very economical. You can usually pick them up for about $19.99 between the UFA or the PV Mart or Princess Auto. Somewhere, one of those three will generally have one. Well, I looked on UFA's website today, and they're $34.99. Price has gone up quite a bit. Checked out Princess Auto, and they're $23.99. So price has gone up, but not quite as much. And then I didn't even bother with PV Mart. I'm just starting to hate PV Mart because they may say they have a thing, but they never have a thing. And the folks that work there, the one thing they don't have is a clue. So I'm kind of done with PV Mart unless I absolutely need to go there. But anyways, I'm going to get a couple toys packed up here for Finn so that she's not bored out of her mind while we go to the lumber yard, put the dog away, and then we're going to head for town. One little bit of farming I did this morning already is I had to move the rams. So the rams are in behind the shop here actually. And that was where we kept the horse and the donkey for a while. And the horse, mostly the horse, not the donkey. The horse put a lot of pressure on that page wire fence to the point where it was broken. I patched it up. Now you put 2 rams in there. It is getting on close to September, end of August. So what does that mean? It means everybody's Twitter pating. So love is in the air, kind of, so to speak. And I can't afford to have love in the air because that's just how you have Christmas, New Year lambs at minus 40. Ain't nobody got time for that. We do have the barn, but we're just, I got no time for that. Let's not. March is a pretty good time. But anyway, so the rams are getting out. And then they weren't going down and bugging the ladies or nothing, but they were sure bugging the wife's real expensive trees that she puts so much effort into every year, and can't have that. So what I did is I got some more electric netting, moved them onto another patch, so at least we can say it's not their appetite that's pushing them on the fence, it's just their balls. And I mean, that's kind of beyond my control. I can't deal with the hormonal stuff, but I can deal with the dietary stuff. So moved them onto a fresh patch, and I forgot, because they ran in the patch they were in for 2 weeks behind electric fence that was not energized before they finally jumped out of it. And so then the other day I went in and I got some leads and I put the energizer on, and I forgot about it entirely. And this morning I went over there and I got a real firm grasp, hey, both hands, set my shoulders, set my feet, and I pulled and I ground it out, and I ground it out hard. I almost peed my pants. It was I felt that through my entire body. I felt that down to my soul. So I know the energizer's working. So I just threw one more length of netting on there, and they got a little bit of alfalfa on the hillside. They can chew on that for a week or so, and then maybe I might kick them out behind the barn here. All right, well, I'm all done here at the UFA. Got my whole, well, he thought it was a whole lift. I come around the back of the yard. He said 46 boards. That's a whole lift. I said no, I'm pretty sure 108 is a full lift. He's like, oh, I gotta go talk to somebody. Okay, yeah, so he went and talked to somebody, and then I think he was a little bit pissed because he realized it wasn't a full lift, and he couldn't use a forklift because I don't actually have although it's a flat deck, it's not like a flat bed, right? So you can't just get in there with a forklift because the fender wells are in the way. But so hand bombed 46 boards on, and he, again, that fella, he swore up and down, oh, you got 46. And I was like, no, there's only 41. Like, let's do some math here. But the problem is, and I wouldn't ordinarily have come to the UFA for this lumber. I would have gone to the fella at Emerson Trail Building Supplies, because he's on 105, Range Road 105, and I'm only on Range Road 102. But UFA was having a sale on pressure treated lumber, and it's 20% off. When you're buying $1,000 worth of wood, it kind of pays to go where there's a sale. So then we also got a home hardware in Beaver Lodge, so that's right close, local, right? But I found, honestly, the quality of lumber is just so terrible there. Like, it's just, I mean, you're basically gonna buy some very expensive hockey sticks, right? And you just can't have that. So if I'm gonna buy hockey sticks, I might as well come to the UFA and get 20% off my hockey sticks. And I've got so many ratchet straps on the back of that trailer. I've got 4 2-inch ratchet straps on a 16-foot board, and they are tight. Like, you could play fiddle on that trailer right now. Because again, the distance, it's further away than typically. I'm just usually gonna go like 3 range roads, and I gotta drive through Claremont or the city of Grand Prairie. Kind of pick your poison, right? So I think I'm gonna hit the underpass here, the overpass, whatever it's called, and then boogie off around the roundabout and then hit the Emerson Trail and head home. And I mean, I'm not gonna avoid traffic. I'm just gonna try to avoid as much traffic as I possibly can. Load securement and cities and other drivers specifically, just get the hair on the back of my neck standing up. So we're not going to stop at the Princess Auto and get any floating water stuff. I'll figure that out another day, and then we'll get Finn home, have a little bit of leftover Chinese food. That's what we got back at the house. That's going to be a nice treat. So let's get Boogie in here. Wouldn't be a trip to Grand Prairie unless we had to stop and poop on the side of the highway. Hey, Finn? Yeah. Good news, however, is I came home with all my hockey sticks. Didn't lose a single one. Ratchet straps are still tight. And I didn't even give it the old flick and say that's not going anywhere. So, what luck. So I'm down here in the bottom with the page wire fence, and we're going to try and pin some of this wire down. So yesterday, I tried a couple of different things. I started off with one of these. So this is just a fencing staple that's welded to an 8-inch nail. That was not so good. So then what I did is I welded 2 nails together to make one big sturdy tent peg. So I think in the areas where it's like touching the ground, but I think they're gonna tunnel the way under, I'm gonna use something like this just to pin it down, just to make it so that when they do this with their nose, there's resistance, and they're like, I'll just go look somewhere else. And then for areas like where we've got a big anthill, like over there, where there's actually space to get your head underneath in a few spots, I'm going to use the big kahuna. So that is an 8-inch nail welded to an 18-inch, or well, this is about 20 inches chunk of rebar, and just really sink it in there. Okay, so I got a few of them done here now, and jury's made a decision. For anywhere where you got a significant gap, or maybe there's an anthill or there's a depression in the ground or something like that, this is the ticket. Chunk of rebar with a big nail on it. Pound that in. That is anchored. It is not moving for nothing. And the sheep can go on there and it can nuzzle up on that all at once. It's not moving. However, for the stuff where there's just like this one right here, where there's just a small gap, don't even waste your time with this. So it takes you just as long to try and to make an attempt to weld that staple to that nail. It's dissimilar metals and it doesn't stick very well. And basically it's just one in the ground. The wire tension is enough to pull that up out of the ground. So that's not a good solution. These bad boys, because that wire can't twist, because there's 2 nails there and they both have the opposite twist on them, so it can't torque, it can't come out of the ground like that. This goes in and it stays in. So this is going to be my solution, my trial solution. I say that I've got this figured out, right? But at the end of the day, what's going to happen is the sheep are going to come in here and really let me know what's happening, because if they continue to get out, even if I've got these in there, well then I might as well burn the drawing board, because I gotta really just start again. right, so now I'm down to pounding staples in some barbed wire here, and I got a question for the other farmers out there. When you're building fence or fixing fence, how are you gauging how far apart to space your wires? I mean, I'm just making this up as I go along. So what I do is I just use the hammer handle. That's my gauge. It seems to work pretty good. What are you guys doing? Well, now that I got that wire pinned down, I let the sheet back in here into the bush. I didn't go pin every single one in between the posts there, just the ones where there was a bit of a gap. So we'll see what morning brings, but it's been a bit hectic here for the last few weeks. I had them in there originally, and then there was a select group that was getting out and they were coming up to the farmyard. And so then I just locked them up at the farmyard, in behind the barn. And then there was a couple more that were getting out of there, but they didn't really want to go out to the farmyard. They just wanted to kind of hang out down around here, but just not in there. So I pushed everybody back into the big pie-shaped piece, and I said, I gotta do some work on this fence. So that work is done. But in the meantime, while I was doing that work, those few that I had in behind the barn were seemingly over the last 3-4 days, 4 or 5 days maybe, getting out every day and getting into the wife's bushes and eating on her cherry trees, eating on lilac bushes, all the stuff that makes you famous with the missus, right? So now I've pushed them, so everybody's in here now. And they're all excited because it's, you know, they've been gone out of here for a couple of weeks. And although lots of it's eaten down, there's still lots of new sprigs that they haven't explored yet. And some you got a little bit of recovery, so it might be a little sweet or whatever. So they're after it. But we will see what the morning brings. Hopefully it brings 60 odd sheep on that side of the fence and nothing but cows over here. Anyways, I think that's a good time for me to head up the hill and go see about a bit of supper. So I'll let you go for now. Hope you're having a fantastic evening. We'll see you tomorrow.